Oh, wait. Hey, check it out. It's Jumpin' Jack night at Groove Diner. What's that about? Let me tell you what it's about. First of all, hi, and thanks for joining us again. Week 2, Season 2, Episode 2. More Nate Morton coming. This is going to be great. If you liked Part 1, you're going to love Part 2. Nate and I just jump right back in, and here we go. So you're going to have a really good time listening to him because he's a great interview. I'll tell you that.
You sound out of breath.
You think I'm out of breath from like 10 jumping jacks? Come on, man. Well, he's got a point. What about these jumping jacks? Why was I doing that? Because at the beginning of the pandemic, I think a lot of us probably had some goals. Be the best drummer I've ever been. I've got time. I can practice. Be the best husband. Be the best whatever. But certainly, as a guy who's always been very fit, I thought, I'm going to spend this time and really, really get fit. And the first 6 or 8 months of the pandemic, I kind of did. We built a gym here at the house because we couldn't go to the gym anymore, and we loaded it down with all the necessary stuff, and doing a few jumping jacks was a good thing. And I found myself, as the pandemic wore on, really struggling to stay with that, and I think probably a lot of us did. And I know that I was struggling mightily to stay on top of all of my goals, on top of all the things that I needed to stay on top of. And the camera's gone. Staying on top of everything. And it was a real challenge for me to stay motivated, right? And I think a lot of us probably felt that way. So what I'm doing now, starting today, and my wife is in on this, it was really kind of her idea, is 100 days of sort of a rededication, physical fitness, etc. And in this 100 days of physical fitness, I want to challenge you guys. Join me. Let's do it together. I'm on day 1. I am a little out of breath from doing 10 jumping jacks because I put in a pretty solid workout today. I'm going to be that fit guy that I've always been again at the end of 100 days. Shouldn't be that hard to stay committed to eating well and all of that. So I hope that you will take a little inspiration and go with me on this journey. Maybe we can even encourage each other a little bit through the course of it. Beyond that, what happened to you during the pandemic? Let me know in the comments. We'll talk a little bit about how the pandemic affected you, the things you wanted to do, the things you got done, the things you didn't get done, some surprises maybe. Let's talk about that after the interview segment is over today. Also, if you'd like to be even more involved, groovedinerafterdark@gmail.com. That's an email address that you can use to contact us at any time, but we're going to start collecting emails for an It's Your Show coming up in just a few weeks, where we take viewer questions just like we did last year, and we answer them through the course of an entire episode. It was one of our best episodes last year. It was a fan favorite, as I'm sure you know, and we really, really enjoyed doing that. So we're going to do it again. groovedinerafterdark@gmail.com. That would be the way to contact us. All right, so we will see you again here in just a minute. It's going to be an amazing show tonight. We'll talk a little more on the other side of this quick break. This episode of Groove Diner After Dark is brought to you by Groove Diner After Dark, the store. That's right, starting with tonight's episode, you can tell the world of your love for Groove Diner After Dark by owning official Groove Diner After Dark merchandise. Coffee mugs, t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, a pint glass, stickers, and much more can be yours today. Simply go to groovedinerafterdark.com or click the link in this video description and get your gear today. Thank you for your support. Hey, I want to thank everybody that immediately reached out last week and bought merchandise. That was really great to see that you guys were so into the Groove Diner After Dark that you bought coffee mugs and t-shirts and stickers. Thank you so very much for that last week. Check that out. If you happen to forget where the link is, it's groovedinerafterdark.com, but you can also get it from the link tree that gives you all the different links for the Groove Diner episodes. On that note, we do have a brand new Groove Diner After Dark YouTube channel. In the past, it was on my personal channel. But we created it a week ago, and it takes about 30 days before we can actually start claiming it as Groove Diner After Dark. So Dan is going to put the link up right now to the Groove Diner After Dark YouTube channel so that you guys can take a look at it and see archives. And we're going to start putting up season 1 in the future, and everything from this season will immediately be there. So tomorrow, if you'd like to watch this video, it's Monday night now. If you want to see it tomorrow, you can see it there. So Dan's going to put that link up. Thank you, Dan. Now, back to the main event, Nate Morton. So last week, Nate and I talked for about 40 minutes. Like I said, we talked for at least an hour off camera before we started rolling. And a lot of the discussion was just so good once we got to the camera that we couldn't fit it all into one episode. So a bit of a joke happens later on about this being the first 13 episodes. And there's some truth to that because we simply didn't want you guys to miss the wisdom of Nate. He's an amazing guy, obviously a killer drummer. And last week we saw a little bit of drumming of his. This week he sent me another video, some behind the scenes Nate Morton drum cam from The Voice. He's going to play a little bit of that, and we're going to dive right into the interview. And when I say dive in, I mean it literally jumps right in where we cut off last week. So if you didn't see last week's, be sure you go back and check that out. All right, send us your comments, send us your questions. We'll be back at the end of the interview. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at that video. Just a few more things here. What's your tattoo? It's obviously something specific.
So the first tattoo, I don't know which camera I should be showing this to.
This one.
But the first tattoo is my nickname given to me by my grandma Edwina, which is Dootybug, Dootybug in her writing. So that's Dootybug.
Nice.
And then the music is her favorite hymn, which is a hymn called Blessed Assurance.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so that's what that tattoo is. And then this one is very small.
Yeah.
But that's a little scorpion.
Yeah.
And I asked my wife, who is a Scorpio, to draw it. I said, hey, draw your, astrological sign. And she did. And then I went and I got it tattooed. And she said, if I knew you were going to get that tattooed, I never would have done it. And then I have one here that says the date and time that my first son was born.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Dootybug.
Hit me.
There was a solo record.
Ages ago.
2006.
Quite some time ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
I took a listen.
Okay.
And I wrote it down here because Playground Philosophy. Let's just start with the title. I freaking love it.
Playground Philosophy.
That's a freaking great title.
Yes, thank you.
I think Playground Philosophy, it just sounds like a life mantra, man.
Yes. Well, it came from the idea that everyone gets a turn on the playground.
I love it.
Everyone gets a turn.
It's so good.
Everyone gets a turn. You're on the swing set for a certain amount of time.
Yep.
Playground Philosophy. At a certain amount, you get off, you relinquish it, the next person gets a turn. Everyone gets to participate.
I wrote down a quote here. This is a quote from your Wikipedia.
That's
scared. That's right.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
It says,
whenever anyone quotes me, I'm always like, oh God, how long ago was it? I don't know if I still agree.
You said it. Here it is. Let's find out. All right. So Playground Philosophy, Dootybug, that's your solo record. You did it as Dootybug, right?
Correct.
Not as Nate Morton. Now I understand why, because it was your grandmother's nickname for you. I was going to ask you that. I think that's pretty great. But one of the quotes, or the quote that you have on Wikipedia about the album, I really like. The album's subject matter deals largely with the idea of following your path despite the naysayers. That hit me because I grew up where naysayers were all around. And though they largely have come around, not everybody has, even now.
Right.
I feel like the number of naysayers always pull at those of us who are.
Did you grow up amongst artists and musicians and so on?
Absolutely not.
Right, and with rare exception, neither did I.
Right.
My father played music in the home.
My father was the musician.
Right, my father played music. My father played so much music in our home that it was as though I lived with a musician.
Got it.
That said, kind of outside of that, it was like, oh, so you want to be a musician?
Yeah.
What are you going to do for a living?
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of that.
I got the. So what do you do? Oh, I'm a drummer. But what do you do?
Right.
I got that one a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a great story. Well, I don't know if it's a great story. I'll tell it and
Let's
you can
find
determine
out.
if it's great or not.
Yeah.
So my wife at the time had a coworker, and the coworker said to her, "Oh, what's your husband do? Oh, he's a musician. He's a drummer."
Yes.
And the coworker tells the story much better than me. But he said when she said that, immediately thought, loser.
Yeah, right.
So one day she goes in to work and she says to him, "Hey, if you're around, my husband is going to be on PBS. He's going to be on this TV show later."
Mm-hmm.
And so he says, "Okay, I'll check it out." And again, he's thinking, public access.
Of course.
It's going to be me in my basement.
Right.
Playing along to, pop songs.
Right, of course.
It so happens that the performance that's on PBS is Natalie Cole performing at the governor's ball.
Nice, yeah.
At the White House, right?
Right.
So, and this is, so it was definitely one of those things where it was like, oh,
yeah,
he actually makes a living.
He is a musician, yeah.
like doing this, So yes, a lot of the time I did face the, oh, what are you gonna do for a living? And full disclosure, I mean, even for my parents, it wasn't until I started finding some success and finding some gigs, and hey guys, if you tune in to, Vibe tonight, you're gonna see me on TV playing with this particular artist.
Sure.
So there are definitely plenty of naysayers, and that record was definitely born out of a lot of people saying, good luck.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make it.
Yeah. Right.
Or frankly, it was also born out of playing with a lot of artists at the time, where maybe I play a fill and it's like, oh, that's too loud. Oh. Or I play a groove and no, that's too
whatever.
You can't play that.
Yeah, right.
No. And so I just wanted to make a record at that time that didn't have any boundaries on it whatsoever.
Right.
So as a result, it's a record where genre is all over the place.
Yeah, in fact, I mean, I couldn't get over it. It was everything. The first tune on there, what was it called? Best in Life.
Yeah.
That thing's a rocker, man.
Sure.
I love that tune.
Sure.
And then the title track's a reggae tune.
Exactly.
And I'm like, all right then, yeah.
Exactly.
Let's talk gear. We're surrounded by all your stuff.
I'm not good at that.
Tell me a little.
Can I tell you that I'm not good at that?
You can, but what's that?
That's a pearl.
Okay, we'll take that. What are those?
Those are drums.
Okay, we'll take that.
And cymbals. No.
I love this finish. I've said that already.
This is Ocean Sparkle, and this is basically it's a Pearl Masterworks kit, but it's basically a Reference Pure kit with a finish Ocean Sparkle, which unfortunately is no longer available production-wise.
So it's an exclusive.
So that's why it's a Masterworks kit, just because of the finish of the work in terms of recording in the Garudio.
Size?
What we've got up now is the 12, 14, 16.
Is that common? Is that the typical
12,
setup?
14, 16 is usually the go-to.
Okay.
With a 22-inch kick.
Yep.
And sort of a variety of snares that I'll swap in and out.
Right.
But the 12, 14, 16 with the 22, I find to be typically the most versatile.
Yeah, sure.
That gains me the most ground.
Sure.
Now, if anyone sends me something and it's like, oh, this is kind of a fusion-y thing, and you need to be a little bit busier and do that, then I'll put up maybe like the 10 here.
Sure.
But typically, for your average rock, pop, country, I'm playing pocket, this is the rig.
Right, okay.
And
That's cool.
The snare drum that I didn't mention, that's a Pearl Sensitone brass alloy, which is very similar to maybe like a Black Beauty.
The Steve Ferroni, huh?
Exactly, precisely. I have a Ferroni as well, but now that he's no longer with the company, I know, I love it.
That's such a good drum.
But since he's not with the company, it's
sacred.
It's mosaiced out now.
Indeed, yes.
But yes, I do have a Ferroni, but this is the similar drum of the same composition, and they serve similar purposes and also act both amazingly. mean, I basically have up kind of the catch-all collection here right now. And I do have a handful of others around that I can grab. I have a handful of other different sizes of snares.
Yep.
And when I'm doing work in here, I'm fortunate to have a cadre of things to sort of pull from in terms of the different sizes of toms. I have an 18 upstairs in my closet. So if I ever wanted to go really big, I could totally shift gears and put the 14 as a rack on a stand, on the floor toms, and then go 16, 18.
Right.
You know? So I try to keep it versatile and flexible so that I can do the right thing for whatever the gig is.
You're not really a gearhead, though.
I'm not really a gearhead by virtue of the fact that I can't tell you, oh, I have this particular snare that was made this particular year because the year prior it was a that alloy, but so that's not me. That's not me. I've always very much been as long as the bass drum goes thud, and the snare drum goes crack, I can make that work.
Got it.
Now it just so happens that I'm very fortunate and blessed to be with Pearl, which makes a lot of snare drums that go crack amazingly, and a lot of kick drums that go thud incredibly. So and as long as I'm sort of singing the praises, my relationship with Pearl began at this point over 20 years ago, and the allure of Pearl. I realize you didn't ask me to make a commercial.
No, bring it. Yeah, no.
But the allure of Pearl was there are several levels. Number one, I love their finishes. Number two, I felt like at the time they were the company that best accomplished the task of making both a thuddy kick drum and toms that sang. There were other companies that made great sounding kicks. I was less impressed by the tom sound. Tom sang, kicks sounded like cardboard. Right. And then obviously the collection of snare drums that you can accompany with that, or you can add to that. But then also at the time, Pearl, and we're flashing back 20 some odd years.
Yeah, when did you start with them professionally?
Shortly after moving to LA. I moved to LA in 98.
Okay.
So it would have been shortly after 98.
So it's been a minute.
And at that time, it's been quite some time, right? And at that time, and bear in mind, I was playing with artists such that it was not like, hi, I'm Nate Morton, here's what I would like. It was very much like, hi, you've never heard of me, but I'm playing with this other artist that you've also never heard of. If it's okay with you, may I let you know what I'm doing? And if at some point down the road we manage to come up with a professional relationship, that'd be rad.
That's the greatest way to approach that.
Sure. In the meantime, I believe you make the best gear, so it's what I'm going to be playing either way, right? So at that time, I was doing a fair amount of traveling and touring, and Pearl, I could be wrong, but in that moment, I feel like Pearl was the only drum company that also made a drum rack.
That's probably true.
There were other companies that came online after. Yamaha makes a great drum rack.
Yeah, that hex rack.
But I don't think they made it at the time. At the time, it was like you get your drum thing, and then you go to Gibraltar.
Right.
And you try to get your Gibraltar thing together.
Right.
Which the circular tubes, I could never get things to stay where I wanted them to stay.
Back in the day, I couldn't either. Now I can.
Exactly. And that's what I figured as well.
Right.
But at the time, and again, even still, square rack. It was the square rack was a Steve Jobs Apple moment.
Sure.
Like why didn't anybody else think of that? Like, oh my gosh, there's so many Apple products that's like, I can't believe no one else thought of that beforehand. And that was the square rack for the Pearl stuff to me. So I was very fortunate. Like I said, I was like, hey, I'm going to play this stuff anyway. Can we chat? And then over the course of 2+ decades, the relationship has grown to what it is.
Sure.
And just to touch back really briefly on what we were talking about earlier. So there are sort of two guiding words, tenets, premises in my life. One of them is balance, which we talked about earlier. And the other is relationships.
For sure.
It's relationships. I don't have any gear that I have or any relationship with any company that I have because I said, hi, I'm the Nate Morton.
Right.
Go ahead and send me this stuff. None of it.
How about those times you went to NAMM and outplayed everybody and got lots and lots of free gear?
Poof.
You wake
up.
There it is.
You wake up. So it's all all of the I use the term personal and professional affiliations.
Yes.
I don't say endorsements. I don't say my companies.
Right.
I say my personal and professional affiliations are with these people.
Yeah.
And that's sincere. It's like all of the relationships that I have, they're in the double digits of years.
Sure.
And none of them began with me saying, hey, please send me, here's my Christmas list. It all began with like, hey, you probably don't really care who I am right now, but I aspire to one day you maybe caring who I am.
Sure. I think that's a really huge lesson because so many times I'm asked by kids, always high school kids, how can I get a sponsorship? Well, sponsorship's the word they use, by the way.
Well, because they think that comes first.
Yeah, right. And
it's very easy to think like, oh, I'll get an endorsement with this company.
Yeah.
Then I'll get the Sting gig.
That's right.
And it's like, Sting isn't flipping through the Pearl catalog.
No.
Sting is not flipping through Modern Drummer.
No.
It goes the exact opposite.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Absolutely.
So many kids miss that, man.
Yeah. And I was the same. I mean, I went through a phase where I was like, ooh, if I had this endorsement, and then I realized like, oh, okay, it doesn't really work that
way. Do you know, I used to get really mad when pro guys would get all the free stuff. And I was like, why am I not? I'm the one that's struggling. I'm the one that needs help. And then as I became a pro, I'm like, I get it now because I need all this stuff to actually do my job.
Well, but you touch on a very interesting point and a very good point, which is that there is an extent to where it's like, okay, when I'm broke, it would be great if you would give me something.
Yeah.
But then once I attain some level of being busy and making $1 or $2, now I don't have to pay for it. And so, with Zildjian, they had like an associate endorser thing, which was literally that. Right. It was like, we know that you can't pay for a whole bunch of gear right now. Mm-hmm. We also know that you don't have a giant marquee gig right now. However, we would like to begin a relationship with you. Mm-hmm. Right. So I think that they were really good at doing that. But yes, at the time and even now, I still do sort of realize like, that's a little bit of a thing, But again, it's why you begin a relationship with a company.
Sure. Tell me about this table you've got right here.
So I've got a buddy and his name is Emmett.
Yeah.
And Emmett and I were chatting one day and I was saying something along the lines of, Emmett, I think Pulp Fiction is the best movie ever made.
Right.
And conversations went back and forth about that. And he said, oh yeah, really? You think so? And I was like, oh man, definitely. And he was like, I'm going to make you a drum. And I was like, you're going to make me a drum?
Right.
He's like, yeah, wait till you see it. It's going to be awesome. And so some time would elapse. And every now and then he'd be like, I'm still going to do it. I'm going to do it. I said, oh, okay, cool, whatever. So yes, so one day, then boom, in the mail shows up this drum from Emmett, which is the Pulp Fiction homage.
Can you show it to the camera there?
Pulp Fiction homage drum. Let's see if I can do this. Let's pull off here.
Yeah.
We got the poster. We've got Big Kahuna Burger here. We got Butch Boxing. We got Travolta, Vincent. We got like lots of other animations here. And so the whole drum is outfitted. The one possible non-fiction non-Pulp Fiction. But here, the one, where is it? Where'd it go? The one possibly non-fiction thing was a throw-in for me, which is my Lakers sticker here.
Right, sure.
Okay, so there you go. But then we have the whole, like, where is he? Where's Jules? The path of the righteous man.
I like that one. Yeah, that's really, really good.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So, yes. So this drum is like the mascot of my studio.
I love it.
It lives here, and it's been everything from sort of a table to, like, just all sorts of stuff. I've actually played it on a couple of tracks.
Have you?
So, yeah.
Nice.
So
I'm kind of in love with the Pulpy Bunch.
What do you got?
The Pulpy Bunch, right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
That's so funny.
This is super cool.
Yeah, I like that.
This
That's
is
great.
super cool.
That's really great.
He's got my little modern drummer.
Yeah.
That was very nice.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Nice work there,
Emmett.
Emmett.
That needs to be a feature.
I know, right?
Featured in our hang.
Yeah.
Our hang cast.
Exactly.
I'm not going to call it a podcast.
It's definitely not a podcast.
A hang cast.
Yeah.
Do it. Do the thing. Yes! Yes!
That is our thing.
Boom.
From here on. No matter what. What was I even going to ask you now? I don't even know. You seem to be a positive guy. generally speaking. You seem like this really upbeat guy. How do you maintain that in the face of what has to be a challenging life, trying to be a freaking musician in a world that's designed? This is a career that's designed to make you fail.
There are a couple of things that fuel my, if you will, positivity.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things. Number one, I started playing drums, and I use that term loosely.
Okay.
Because when I say playing drums,
Yeah.
I mean sitting on the floor of the kitchen on my butt at 5 years old, banging on pots and pans
Sure.
with salad spoons.
Right.
Right?
Right.
5 years old,
Mm-hmm.
kitchen, pots, pans, salad spoons.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I started.
Yep.
You can tell me all you want, technical, these plies, this alloy, this polymer. They're still pots and pans to me.
Got it.
And I'm still 5.
That's awesome.
That's literally my mentality.
Nice.
I'm still 5 years old. I'm still banging on pots and pans. It still dawns on me at times when I'm playing a song on stage in the middle of a live show. And I go, I'm 5 years old, banging on pots and pans right now. This is amazing.
That sounds unbelievable.
So that is a very, very, very big part of it. I have not lost touch with that at all.
That is incredibly difficult.
My eyes pop open in the morning, and I go, I get to go bang on pots and pans today.
Wow.
So that's part of it.
That's heavy, man. That's actually, I needed to hear that. That's something I needed to hear tonight.
I mean, and you know, I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true.
Yeah.
It's the truth. The other part is this. I'm on the phone. I'm in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm at the Platinum Hotel. I'm talking to my buddy, Reggie Hamilton.
Yeah.
Outstanding world-class bass player.
Right.
Big brother to me.
Right.
Reggie, man, it's been great chatting, but I have to go because I have to jump on the elevator now to go downstairs so I can go across the way to play with Cher at Caesar's Palace.
Right.
Reggie goes, get to. I go, huh?
Huh?
He goes, you get to
yes.
get on the elevator to go downstairs to walk across the way to play with Cher at Caesar's Palace.
Yeah.
Get to. I get to do this.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that I carry with me. Like, I can't even come up with like a clever metaphor or analogy. It's just something that I carry with me at all times.
Yeah.
I get to do this.
Yeah.
When I was at Berkeley, I would get calls to do sessions or jam sessions that started at midnight.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It starts at midnight.
Yeah.
And we're going to do this recording session. It's from midnight to 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I'm there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, how much does it pay? 0.
Right.
I'm there. It's
right.
a jam session. It's a recording session. I always carry that with me because at that time, I consider myself so fortunate. Like, oh my God, I get to go and play with these cats. These are like really amazing musicians.
Man.
And the idea that it was from midnight to 4 in the morning or midnight to 6 in the morning,
mm-hmm.
that was irrelevant.
Didn't
that was
matter
like
at all.
superfluous.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
I'm getting this. So that's the sort of cauldron into which Reggie's comment of you get to do this.
Yeah, man.
So when I'm at Henson Recording Studios in Hollyweird, and I look at my watch and it's 1:30 in the morning and we've got 2 more songs to track.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to track 2 more songs
at
Henson.
Yeah, right.
Henson Recording Studios in Hollywood.
Right.
I don't have to do it. I get to do that. So those 2 things are kind of the driving force. The fact that A, I'm still 5 years old
mm-hmm.
and I'm still like looking around like, really, I get to do this? Like, this is my job.
Yeah.
That combined with, again, I get to do this.
You know, something usually when I have guests, I ask for a little tidbit for upcoming drummers. I'm not even going to ask you because you just answered that question.
Well, and the other thing too, like, and literally not to be flip at all, but like, I get to talk to you.
Yeah, right.
I get to hang out at 11:20 and chat to you in my dumb little Garudio.
It's awesome in here.
With drums set up, and we're rapping about drums.
Right.
You know? So I don't really have to find external motivation. I'm just so gratified and ecstatic and pleased and stoked. Tomorrow, I have students.
Mm-hmm.
I have students. I have people who are going to go like, hey, I kind of dig what you do. Can you share it with me?
Yeah.
I get to share with them what I do.
Yeah.
You know? So that's the thing. So yes, it is definitely a challenge. There are definitely hard times. I definitely went through times in college when my meal 7 days a week was day-old bread and potatoes.
I was a ramen noodle guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we wouldn't do the ramen noodles. We would actually go buy spaghetti.
Yeah.
But we would sneak into like the local like Chinese food restaurants
Sure.
and steal soy sauce. So we would actually make spaghetti, but then season it with soy sauce. Or we would sneak into the Italian places and steal Parmesan cheese. So we would make spaghetti and put Parmesan cheese
He's
on.
right here. I can tell you where to come get him.
But it's the truth. I mean, but at the time, you know, in that moment, it was like, I can't believe I'm actually doing this. I can't believe this is my gig. Like, this is what I do.
Yeah. My story like that is that I used to trap skunks under houses for $5 a skunk. That's how I would make a living, just so that I could go play drums at night.
Did you really do that?
I did. I would crawl around under houses.
Is there a method to tracking the skunk without getting skunked?
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah. Well, they would get trapped under the houses. We'd set traps under the houses.
And then they freak out, right?
They would totally freak out. But when you approach them, there's a way to approach them, and you open the cage in a particular way, and you put a bag over their head, and you win.
A bag over their head would suffocate them.
No, it's a canvas bag that they can breathe. They just can't spray you.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not great, and I certainly got sprayed.
Okay, now I'm going to be very honest right now. So skunks to me, are really, really cool.
Okay.
Because yes, they can totally like stink you out and ruin your life. But I can only imagine like skunks are sort of cute.
Yeah, no.
They're kind of they're kind of cute. So
You're thinking of Pepe Le Pew, man. Come on.
There's an element to it where like I feel like if you can like befriend the skunk, where you and the skunk are like boys, and you know the skunk is never going to skunk you. The skunk might skunk others, but it's never going to skunk you. Then your relationship to the skunk kind of can take on like a new like.
They were never going to do that with the guy that was trapping them.
Okay, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
So you didn't approach them in the trap with like some chicken nuggets?
No.
Or something?
No. Although that might have been a good idea, but no.
I mean, maybe you'd have a pet skunk.
They're actually...
I think it'll be rad to have a pet skunk.
They're actually pretty vicious, man.
Go down this road with me. Listen,
okay,
go down this road with me.
Let's have it.
If you've got like a pet, like horrible, like, not horrible, but like vicious guard dog.
Yeah, or maybe a bearded dragon.
My dog is here, and they're like,
yeah.
And at any moment, I'm like, we don't like him anymore. Get him, Steve. Whatever your vicious guard dog's name is, Steve.
Right.
My vicious guard dog name is Steve. Get him, Steve. And then Steve rips off your arm.
Yeah, sure.
Now I'm in great amounts of trouble.
Indeed.
Because there's a horrible thing that's gone on.
Yeah.
If my pet skunk is there, that's done.
But it's gotta, you gotta have it though.
Let's go. My pet skunk.
Yes.
Are there female skunks?
Yeah.
Genevieve.
Of course. Are there female skunks?
I didn't know. I know.
How can there be male skunks?
Okay. Bear with me. Okay, just work with me here. Genevieve.
Okay.
My female skunk. And I'm like.
Do you call her Jenny?
Sure.
Okay, fair enough.
Jenny. Buddy is bothering me. She skunks you. You're not in danger of dying.
No.
But you're equally like disgruntled.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not equally as losing an
arm.
No,
but it'd be pretty bad. Yeah.
I think that would be badass. Genevieve, my pet skunk. And I'm like, get him, Jenny.
Let's roll with it.
And then they skunk you. Like, that would be dope. And then after she skunks you, then it's like, yeah, Jenny, good job. Poof. And you high five your pet skunk.
Yeah.
And then you give her some chicken nuggets.
For some reason, I want my skunk to be called Florence. I don't know why.
Florence?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I'm not sure what that's about, but I'm gonna have Florence the skunk from here on. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm not sure what that's about.
Like I was trying to go with Florence and the Machine.
Yeah, but it was a little bit far.
No, it was far, very far bridge.
Okay, so I'm gonna show you. So here's something that the two of us have bonded over. We both love Stephen Wright.
Okay.
The comedian.
Show why my traditional grip is so flawed.
No,
that's a whole other. That would be like multi volumes of this. Volume 1, the reasons 1 through 3 why Nate's traditional grip is so flawed.
Never play it with your right hand. That's a starting point. Yeah. So this is my personal. So we love Stephen Wright jokes. Okay, if you don't know who Stephen Wright is, Google is your friend.
I have the oldest typewriter in the world. It types in pencil.
This is mine. This is mine. This is why I needed a stick. This is a Nate Morton signature model. This is why I needed the stick. He walked out on stage. I was watching the HBO special. He walks out on stage and he's going. And somebody goes, "What's that?" from the crowd. And he goes, "My manager said there were more people here than you could shake a stick at."
That's very good.
I love that.
That's very good.
That's so good.
That's very good. We don't need to get started.
No, because we'd roll that for hours.
Yeah, that's a whole other.
Oh
that's a whole other
man,
thing.
Seriously. One more thing about the voice. You did this for my mother-in-law recently. You sent me a little video for her. You remember this? And is the voice fake? Do they already know who's going to win?
Right. And I told her that obviously can't be true. Yeah. And there's lots of FCC rules and regulations and all of it. Yes.
But it's astounding to me how many people actually think it's all rigged and they already know from like day 2 who's going to win and all of that. Please dispel that.
If there are any people that belong to V-Anon, I will just let you all know that yes, the voice is 100% true, accurate, legit, fair. We operate under such stringent guidelines of fairness to a fault, like to the point where someone goes, you know what? I didn't feel good about my second run through. Can we do it again? And we have to say, no. Everyone at this segment gets 2 run-throughs. I'm sorry. Can I come back and rehearse that one part? No.
Wow.
Because if we did that, everyone would have to be allowed to come back and rehearse that one part. So yes, the voice is 100% fair, accurate. What you see is what you get. Nothing is rigged. Nothing is predetermined. Nothing is predestined. It is what it is.
Nice.
100%.
Right. Well, thanks for letting me know that.
Of course. Baby.
Final question.
Yes.
Most important question.
Don't make it the final question because I'm enjoying hanging out with you so much.
Me too. This is the final one.
Can there be multiple final questions?
Yes. So we'll do 2. So here's the first of the final questions.
Okay.
These are the very most important questions. First, what is your favorite Rick Springfield song? You can't say Jesse's Girl.
I have to because that's the only one I know.
You can't say Jesse's Girl. It doesn't count. No, you know so many more. You know you do.
I'm so sorry. Why are you making this really bad? Like now I look like I don't like Rick Springfield.
You don't like Rick Springfield apparently, and you're wrong about that.
I love Jesse's
Just sit there
Girl.
in your wrongness and be wrong.
Oh no. Yeah. I feel bad because I even said, "Oh, he might ask me about this. I better research it." And then I did it because I was like, "Oh, he'll probably be cool and not ask me." And then you asked me.
I'm gonna ask you a different one too.
Oh God, this is gonna be bad too. Okay, so hey, all you can I go here?
Yeah.
Hi, all you Rick Springfield fans, please send your hate mail to Nate Morton. I only know Jesse's Girl.
You know more than that. You just don't know that you know.
Okay, sing it. Give me one.
You know, Love Is All Right Tonight. I guarantee.
How's it go?
Like that. Love is all right tonight. Love is all right tonight. It's a really great riff, man. You were alive in the 80s, right?
I got nothing.
So.
I was, but I grew up.
You were listening to all that gangster rap, weren't you?
weren't you? So,
since you are so lame that you don't have a favorite Rick Springfield song, that was awful.
That was like, hey, Rick Springfield, and like Thelma and Louise off the cliff.
Totally.
That was me.
I felt it.
Crap. I'm sorry.
You really are kind of.
I'm sorry.
You're kind of breaking a year's worth of.
Can I turn in a book report later? Can I do some research?
Some extra credit?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So I can pass the class.
Here's your extra credit. Here's the one question.
Jeez, no pressure.
You ready for this? If you can answer this one, I will forgive the last one.
Oh God.
You ready?
Yes.
What is your favorite Barry Manilow song?
Shoot. Now, I mean.
Did you just say shoot? Like actually say shoot and really mean it?
I said shoot.
Like,
I almost even slapped my knee.
Shoot.
I almost even slapped my knee. Shoot. The problem here is this. The problem here is, while I would love to come up with like an answer with like a sort of weighty amount of profundity.
Yeah.
I can't, but the sincere answer is Copacabana.
Rocket.
But like that would be a million people's answers because like, oh, Copacabana. But like I've played that song 1,000
Sure.
times in 1,000 different
Of
bands,
course.
and it's never gotten any less fun to play.
Right.
And so it's always the one. The music and passion is like, come on, man.
We're gonna keep that, and for the whole season, it's going to be, what's your favorite Barry Manilow song?
Yeah.
That's it.
And it's going to be that drop.
Yeah.
The drop of me just now
Singing. That's it from here on.
Oh, no.
We're gonna totally do that. You know, ask me what my favorite movie is.
Hey, you know what, buddy? I was just wondering, like, so what's your favorite movie?
I'd really like to say something like Citizen Kane, or maybe Schindler's List.
Huh?
But the truth is, outside of the Star Wars realm, Revenge of the Nerds.
Revenge of the Nerds. Now that's a classic.
See, this is what I'm
That's a
saying.
classic.
It's the same sort of thing.
That's a classic.
Copacabana can be your Barry Manilow song.
Can I ask you more? Can I ask you more questions?
Please. Nobody ever asked me things.
Here's it.
I
Now
ask everybody
I'm going to put a little pressure on you. I'm not going to waste time. I'm going to jump in with a little pressure on you, and it's unfair pressure because I personally have thought about this question.
My favorite
from
Rick
my own
Springfield
side.
song is Venus in Overdrive.
I'm giving it to you. Ready?
Let's have it.
How many faces are there on Mount Rushmore?
4.
That's right. What is your Rushmore of drummers?
I could almost narrow it down to 1. Almost.
One person 4 times?
Almost.
4 different angles of the same person?
Kinda.
Okay.
So my Rushmore is going to be Vinnie Colluda.
Okay.
He would be the 4
Yeah,
times.
we share that one.
Stuart Copeland
Ooh.
would be on my Rushmore for sure. Probably Weckl, though it's hard for me to say that because I always wanted to be the anti-Weckl.
Okay.
I didn't want to like Weckl,
Okay. Okay.
but the fact is I do.
Now, I don't know who your 4th is going to be. However, I will point out, I like the fact that of your first 3, they're all trad grip players.
Indeed they are. And I really hadn't put that together, but you're exactly
Is
right.
your 4th a trad grip guy as well?
He is not. In
Okay.
fact, if I'm going to pick, the 4th one is always the hardest, right? Because
Right, because
I'm
you've got a lot of other
yeah.
people you got to eliminate.
Yeah, because
for that
I
4th.
could go to 50 fairly
Right.
easily,
As could we all.
you know.
Yep.
And I am not one that loves the John Bonham thing. I'm not that guy who's all about Bonham or whatever.
Right.
So that's off the table for me as well. I think I'm going to say probably Carter Beauford.
Interesting pull.
Yeah.
So we got Vin,
Yeah.
Weckl,
Yeah.
Copeland,
Yep.
and Carter Beauford.
Probably.
Okay, so there's so one commonality is
They're all
intricate
notey
hi-hat
as
work.
crap. Yeah.
They're all what?
Notey as crap.
They are. They
Yeah,
are. They are.
right,
But
yeah.
but in fairness though, Weckl doesn't have to be.
No.
He can sit and play pocket
He can.
for an hour and a half.
And
with
people
Sting
have no idea
and
they can do
only ever hint that he can fly.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if he were standing on the ground
Mhm.
and then he went like, shh,
That's
just
exactly
for a minute,
right.
and he came back down, and you're like, wait, what?
Right,
Wait,
right.
And he's like, what do you mean?
Well, Vinny's like that too.
Well, that's I
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
totally.
Yeah. Carter though, he's always moving. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
How do you
Interesting.
define pocket?
How do I define pocket?
Yeah. Is it when you think pocket? Is it in your kick drum? Is it your snare drum? Is it your hi-hat? Or is it something else? How do you define pocket?
I feel like pocket is a little more, for lack of a better term, spacey than that.
Interesting.
I don't have quite as technical a metric.
Yeah.
It's more like a feeling.
You know.
And by the way,
Yeah.
I can't tell you why certain guys feel a certain way to me.
Right.
I just know, like, oh, this feels good.
Mhm.
Oh, I don't love this. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I am sort of with it.
Interesting.
Why do you ask? What was the...
Well, I loved Steve Gadd's definition of that. It wasn't pocket. Somebody asked him what is groove, pocket groove, and his answer it just kind of floored me. He goes, "Groove is an agreement." I thought, yeah, that's it.
That's some wisdom.
Yeah, pocket's that for me because a band I was recently playing with, somebody didn't like my pocket. They said it was too jazzy. What? Okay, so I'm playing a jazz thing. Too rocky. What? No,
Right.
it's just this is my pocket. Do you like it? I don't know.
Right.
You do. You don't.
Right. Well,
But-
at the end of the day, what we're doing is all very subjective.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and so there are definitely guys out there who might be like, "Oh man, this guy's killing,"
yeah.
and equal number of guys are going like, "Oh, this guy's terrible."
Oh, absolutely.
You know? So yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like for me, it's interesting. Time and Pocket and all of it, it's so individual and it's so just what speaks to you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There are guys that there are guys, speaking of your Rushmore, there are people who would go like, what, Stuart Copeland?
Yeah,
like
right.
He's like he rushes like crazy.
He does.
But then you sit there and go, all right, but that was like the perfect amount of
Absolutely.
rushing that made that song friggin' brilliant.
Who's your Rushmore?
If I'll get there.
Yeah.
If all due respect, if Steve Jordan played it, would the time be better? Yeah, maybe. But would it be the same engine?
No.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's with all due respect to friggin' Steve Jordan, because he's another genius walking.
Right.
My Rushmore is, and I'm going to tell you who they are, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Number one, Vinnie Colluda. And it's Vinnie not because of how much he can play, although that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But it's the how much he can play combined with how much he doesn't have to play.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, he's the quintessential, like, I could fly to the moon right now, but I only really need to go to Albertsons to pick up a couple things.
Yeah, right.
So I'm going to do that.
I heard him just define himself as a double barrel shotgun. He said he had both triggers. He could pull either one at any time.
Woo! Woo! Mic drop.
I know, right?
Wow. So Vin, for that reason, the ability to have all the facility in the world, but also the knowledge and discipline to know when to not use it.
To play with Faith Hill and Frank Zappa.
Correct.
Yeah.
Megadeth.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Omar Hakim.
Oh, that's a good one. See that?
Sure. Omar Hakim was my guy when I was in college. Like, I wanted to literally be him.
So do you know every note of Dream of the Blue Turtles? And
I might as well.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, like, the thing about Omar was similar to Vinny. He had tons of facility.
Yep.
But he could also not use it.
Yep.
He had street cred from playing with Weather Report.
Sure.
So when he was doing those mega pop tours, no one questioned his musicality. No one questioned his abilities. And that was kind of weird. That was the lane I wanted to live in.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be able to do pop tours, but I also want to be respected as a musician. And, like, Omar was the quintessential that for me.
That's a good one.
I'm going to go with Philip Fish.
Oh, from Fishbone.
From Fishbone.
Yeah. Yeah, I see it over there. Yeah.
Because to this day, so Fishbone was introduced to me in high school by my buddy Dave Siddick. Okay. And he said, Nate, you got to hear this band. You're going to love them. I was like, okay, what is it? And he said, Fishbone. And I went, Fishbone?
Right.
Like, what? And at the time, I was like super into like Chick Corea and like Miles Davis.
Course,
and like I was like a jazz bow. And I'm like, okay. And he played me this song called Knock It off of In Your Face.
I don't know it.
I'm not gonna sing it.
Fair enough.
You're not gonna get that out of me. But he played me Knock It, and by bar 3.5, they were my favorite band. Right, 3.5 bars in, I was like, this is the best band ever. And to this day, when I put on records out of my Fishbone catalog, I'm like, that's right. That's where I stole that lick from.
Oh, nice.
That's right. That's where I realized you could do this or that or the other. And then the very last, and this is not meant, I say this, and it's not a joke. It's not a joke, and it's not meant to be flippant. Animal from the Muppet Show.
Because
at 4 years old or 5 years old, I'm watching Animal. I don't know there's a dude under there moving sticks and stuff. Right. I see this crazy, and all I'm thinking of is, that dude looks just about as out of control and insane as me, and they're playing drums, and it seems to be being positively received.
Nice.
And that was it, you know?
Yeah.
So Vinny, Omar, Fish, Animal.
Nice.
That's my Rushmore.
That's a hell of a Rushmore.
Yeah. And you know, you and I both, neither of us named like Tony Williams or, you know, Philly Joe Jones, Elvin Jones. And it's like, while those guys are all luminaries, they're legends, icons, day to day, what I do is less influenced by those cats than the four guys that I named.
Did you ever heard of a band called Maggie's Dream?
That was Lenny Kravitz's band.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So after he left, They did one solo record or
Do
one.
I get props?
One
Do I get
record.
props for
You
knowing
do.
that
That's
was Lenny
not very
Kravitz's
many
band?
people know that, man. Have you heard their record? 91, 92?
I feel like I heard it at the time because I feel like I might have seen them like in Boston opening for Fishbone.
Because you
for
like
some of the
Fishbone,
band.
you will love that band.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Okay.
so good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try to
yeah.
remember to send you a note about that because you're going to.
Is there only one record?
There were two. The first one was just called Maggie's Dream,
Okay.
and it's the one that really
That's
more
the
people
one?
know about.
Okay.
The second one came along later, and I managed to get my hands on a little bootleg copy of it, so I can shoot that over to you.
Okay.
But that first record, my goodness, something that I don't do well as a drummer is play with a great deal of space between my backbeats.
Okay.
And the drummer, whose name escapes me at the moment.
Okay. That was my next question.
I met him once, and I just like poured out all this praise on him because I love his playing.
Has he gone on to be in other projects?
He hasn't. That was his only thing.
Oh,
and his drumming just has so much space. It leaves so much room for funky everything else, and it just kills my soul when I listen to it in a good way. And I mean, I can't play like that. Every time I sit down to try to play along with them,
Yeah.
I can't physically make my body move
What do you
that
mean?
way.
What do you mean?
I mean, the first song starts with this, boom, gah, and there's so much. It's so far on the backside of the beat, and he doesn't play any ghost notes at all in the middle of that. He just lets the space sing for itself.
Yes.
And I don't do that very well.
I
I'm
can
like,
relate. Right, I get it. No, I totally get it. There are times when we play songs on The Voice where if we're playing something and I'm like, we don't play AC/DC because they don't clear songs.
Right.
But sometimes we are playing like an AC/DC
right.
song. And yes, I do. I force myself. I'm like, I could be like the cool cucumber guy right now and play my fancy ghost strokes. But that's not what's on the track.
Not at all.
That's not what it is.
And it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Maggie's Dream thing, you got to hit up.
It's interesting too, coming at it from an approach of it's actually more difficult to play less.
It sometimes certainly is. I play very poorly when I'm playing quarter note rides. I want to play at least eighth notes.
Right.
If I'm playing quarter notes, I have to force myself to do it.
Or crashes. Sometimes you're going. Sometimes you're going. Bush. Bash,
yeah, right.
Bush.
Yeah.
Why can't I go? Bush. Bash.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
No. Totally. 100%.
Oh man.
100%.
All right, brother. We're gonna wrap it up there.
Okay. You sure?
Yeah. He's getting sleepy over there. And he has to edit all this down to 30 minutes.
Oh, good luck. Good luck with that. Episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, and
seriously.
5. With a bonus on episode 13. Name Morton.
Nah, seriously, brother. Thank you.
Bro.
We're going to do this again. Because we're going to do this every time.
Best one ever.
That was really good. All right. Thank you, brother, man. Thanks for having us in.
Man, thank you for making the trek out. Thank you for hanging.
My pleasure.
I've had such a great time chatting with you.
I have to.
And, yeah. We'll have to do this again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right
all right. Thanks. So many people here. So obviously, Nate and I had a blast with that interview. I've seen so many of you guys commenting on Facebook Live. Let me just tell you really quickly that if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, that you can't see the commentary, but I'm going to address everybody that has said anything. Wow, what a great time Nate and I obviously had. It was a blast for us to sit and talk. Clearly, we failed at the 30-minute edit time because we did break it up into 2 episodes. Chris Carden, nice to see you, man. It was really great to have you joining us and being here with YouTube. He's an Alabama friend. It's always good to be, with my Alabama faithful. I have to give out a quick little roll tide. It has to happen. Tell me about your drumming Rushmore. I've seen a few of you already laying that out. I'm really interested to know what your drumming Rushmore is. You heard what mine was. You heard what Nate's is. We both have Vinnie Colluda kind of as the preeminent member of that Rushmore in our worlds. What's yours? Kendall, I saw you put yours up there, and Charles, I saw you put yours up there. We'll take a look at that here in just a minute. Wow, it's just been an absolutely incredible time getting to hang with Nate, getting to bring that interview to you. So now we're going to take a look at the commentary over there and see exactly what everybody's saying tonight. It's been a heck of a lot of fun. And let's see what we can find here. So Philly, oh, nice to see you, man. Glad you're here with us tonight. Thanks for stopping in. You're in Canada. Yeah, that's a long way. Who else is here? Charles here from South Africa. Always good to have him. Kendall Johnson. That's some pretty profound stuff about Animal the Muppet, brother. Animal is Michelangelo because he freed us all from the stone so we could become our own versions of David. First of all, I'm not at all surprised to hear Kendall's talking like that. That's exactly the type of thinker that Kendall is, and I couldn't agree more. It's really fairly amazing. Let's see. Gadsden, Ringo, and Phil Collins, says Toby Simmons, all extremely, extremely worthy of being on Rushmore. That's completely right. Let's see what else we've got up this way. Who else is here? Keith Tenenbaum. Question for me. Who would win in a cage fight to the death between Rick Springfield and Barry Manilow? Well, it's clear that you've never seen Californication, because if you had, you would not ask that question. It would be Springfield coming out of there bloody, but winning. Though, Manilow would put up quite a fight. The piano weighs more than a guitar. So he could potentially use the piano as a weapon. Maybe. I don't know. It'd be a heck of a fight, though. It'd be fun to see, too. Okay, not really. Keith, by the way, what is your there is only one? Let's see what else we've got here. We have so many comments tonight. It's unbelievable. Philly, yes. So you must have missed last week, which is fine. You can catch it on the YouTube archives. In fact, we've got the link up there in several different places. But we talked a good bit last week about Nate's ascendance from his mid-level to the absolute top of the drumming world here in LA. If you want to take a look at that, go back and watch last week's. I think you'll find that there's quite a bit of information there. This, like I said, we did this on site at Nate's place, and we were able to take about a 3.5 hour conversation and break it down into about an hour, maybe a little more than an hour. So there's a lot of ground covered there. Let's see who else. Hey, Riley, good to see you. Chris, it is good to have you here, man. Let me see who all's up to the top. Michael Reschke, thanks for subscribing, man. Nice to have you hanging out there. Oh my goodness. Lots and lots of, wow, a lot of comments tonight. Yeah, you should absolutely do that, Philly. I think you'll like that quite a lot. So what else do we have? Kendall had a Rushmore up there. So here's Charles, Vinnie Colluda, Simon Phillips, Steve Jordan, and Carter Beauford. Yeah, you and I share a couple there, don't we? And I completely get the Steve Jordan and Simon Phillips being on that Rushmore for you, because they are influential, to say the very least. Neil Peart, Thomas Hockey, Danny Carey, Mike Portnoy, says Kendall. Again, I can't argue with any of that. If you're more into that prog rock metal sort of thing, those guys are absolutely pinnacles. So yeah, I have no issue whatsoever with that. I think I saw Reggie Doss here earlier. I'm not sure. Good to see you here, Reggie. Thanks for joining us tonight. And with that, we're going to wrap this one up because the interview was pretty long. Let me tell you about next week. We're going to be here again, 9 p.m. Pacific time, with Victor and Drizzo. Victor is a killer musician. He plays most of the time. You will see him out with Alanis Morissette, and I'll tell you quite a bit about that next week. You're going to enjoy hearing some of the insights that he has. You'll also catch him occasionally on Produce Like a Pro on YouTube, which is a really cool producer channel. He's a chosen one from the particular producer, so you might want to check that out too. I think you'll completely dig that. Let's see what we got. Philly is asking another question over here. If I could, oh, he's asking me, what propelled me out of the intermediate into pro? Honestly, it's this. I was a pretty good snare drummer. And when I moved from college to Nashville, it took me a minute to figure things out, but I got a really great gig with Kenny Rogers Jr., and that took me to a certain level. And then I started playing with Stan Lassiter. He's a jazz fusion guitarist, and that was kind of the moment, because the Stan Lassiter gig, when you get that, it's something of an acceptance into the wider world of, oh, this guy can play. So I did that gig for about a year and kind of lost all of it. I'll tell you that the whole story is that I lost most of my professional qualifications, if you will, when I moved to LA, because I started over. I had some friends out here. Nat Scott, how you doing? But most of the friends that I had out here kind of evaporated. It was like I became the competition, I guess, when I moved here from Nashville. Other than Nat Scott, I really don't talk to any of them anymore, but which is unfortunate because they're good folks. But I started playing and taking every Craigslist gig that I could take. And during the course of that, there was a story. It's kind of a Hollywood story, to be honest. As you guys all know, I play traditional grip most of the time. So I was playing with a rock band at the Viper Room down in Hollywood on Sunset Strip. And a guy approached me after and said, "Hey, man, you've got some marching in your background." I was like, yeah, I do. And we started talking a bit. And he said, "Well, I could really use you and your band to do some music for me." And I'm, "Well, who are you?" And he handed me his business card, and he was a Fox Sports music supervisor. And of course I was like, all right, cool. So he said, "Talk to your band and you guys call my people and we'll set up an appointment." So I did that. I talked to the band, and truth be told, they weren't into the idea of it, but I was. So I took the meeting myself and went to Fox, and I walked into his office, and he said, "Where's the band?" And I said, "I'm the band. What do you need?" And from that moment forward, I began becoming the television sports music guy that I became, which ultimately led to me doing sessions, which led to. So that was a really pivotal moment for me. When I got that one business card from the guy that worked at Fox at the time, that was the pivotal moment. So the good news is that I was ready on some level, because he was asking me questions. He said, "Do you have a recording studio at home?" And I was like, "Of course I do." "Can you write all this stuff?" "Of course I can." "You can play all these instruments?" "Yes." No, I was lying through my teeth. But I knew that I needed to say yes to that gig, and I did. And by saying yes to that gig, it propelled me to a whole new level. And that's ultimately why things have worked out so well for me. So thanks for asking. I appreciate that. We've had a few more over here. Let's see what else we got over here. Reggie, this is cool. Ed Shaughnessy from the old Tonight Show. He was a killer. Stuart Copeland. Yeah. Buddy Rich, how can you not? Neil Peart, again. I mean, he's one of the greatest that ever lived. Kendall, Mike Portnoy is such an awesome writer. The emotional phrasing he comes up with. Yeah, I think he writes from behind the kit, which, by the way, I do that too. When I write music, it starts here at the D-dubs, and it goes forward from that. I approach my whole life from a rhythmic basis. That's just the way it works. If things are in rhythm, then they're in balance, which we talked about with Nate earlier. And it really, really works well. Question for you guys while I'm rambling. What was your worst job? Mine was skunks. What was yours? Let's see. Victor. Yeah, Keith, this is right. Victor was the drummer for Infant Sorrow, Russell Brand's fake band. That's true, and we actually talk a little bit about that in the interview next week. Infant Sorrow, I didn't even realize that they had actually done anything, but they did, and it was really a lot of fun to talk about it. If you've ever seen Get Him to the Greek, that movie starring Russell Brand, that's Infant Sorrow. That is that band, and they actually put out a record, it's funny, obviously, but it's really musically pretty killer. So check that out. Pretty good snare. Thanks, Kendall. I appreciate that. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate all of the encouragement tonight and all of the comments. And please don't forget to share this. We're trying to grow the audience. Please go to that new Groove Diner YouTube channel. It is not the one that you've been subscribed to for years. That's on my personal. It is brand new, less than a week old. So please go there. Dan's put the link up a couple of times. If you have the link tree, it's also available there. Please go there and subscribe and like and get notifications so that you will know when we're doing a new video every week. We really look forward to having you guys there. We need to get to 100 subscribers pretty quickly. I will do that pretty fast, I'm sure. But the sooner we get there, the sooner we can claim Groove Diner After Dark as our very own on YouTube. So that will help us quite a lot. A couple more here. Kendall's. So Burger King in 1993 was not a good deal. Yeah, I get it, man. That's cool. Yeah, Toby's saying you can tell that the Groove Diner YouTube channel is new because it's got the new logo on it, and she's exactly right. So you take a look at that and you'll see it. All right, then. So until next week, and next week, the interview, we're also going to have a couple of new surprises for you. So I think you're going to like it. Be sure to share this with your friends. Come back and see us next week. See you then.